Hands up! All right, get your hands up! Where are you then, you beggar? Got out of here, right. Now, quick, will you? Are you walking away with it next time? You want me to lay it rise? That's what you'll get! Hey! See somebody running down, how about it? Come on, yourself. I'm on the police. Thank God.
Thank God you're safe. I heard revolver shots. I wondered.
He wasn't firing at me. Those were just warning shots for next time.
Oh.
By heaven, there will be a next time.
Shall I get rid of the rope?
Yes.
I can't.
You can't what?
Pull it up. The other end's tied to Brigstock's balcony.
Yes.
Well, I can't get rid of it.
Yes, you can.
How?
You untie the rope from this end, and you fling it with all your might into the distance.
Towards the river?
Exactly.
But the other end will stay tied to Brigstock.
Yes, and the police and Brigstock will think that the burglar made his entrance by climbing up to Brigstock's room, not by climbing down.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and the police will never dream of suspecting us.
Oh.
May I ask where you were, sir, last night at 4 a.m.?
Where any man of sense is. In bed asleep. I was awoken by revolver shots.
You didn't hear the alarm bell, sir?
Heard the bell? Of course I heard the bell. I could not help but hear the bell. Excuse me. And I find it quite intolerable that one man should be permitted to make the night hideous for the other residents of this hotel with bells and shots and God knows what else.
Well, may I ask why you came to this hotel, sir?
I certainly would not have come. I'm so sorry to trouble you again. I would not have come if I'd have known about this man,
Brigstock?
Yes.
But why did you, sir?
To find a little peace and quiet. And I'd let my flat to a young friend of mine. Don't worry, I am going back there today. And I shall need some very firm guarantees before they get me in this place again. I can tell you.
Sure, sir.
I shall need guarantees of no bells and no shots.
Morning, Mr. Raffles.
Morning, Beckett.
Good to see you back, sir. Morning, Mr. Manders.
Morning, Beckett. Oh, Beckett.
Sir.
Mr. Garland, up in the rooms?
Yes, sir. He hasn't gone out yet.
Oh, good. Would you bring up the case later, please?
Very good, sir.
You have met Teddy Garland, have you?
No, but I've seen him bowl.
Good. You've got an idea then,
Best fast bowler in the club for years, I thought.
I should say so. He's a splendid chap to boot. You'll like him. He said he wanted to be alone for a couple of days to think things out, so I offered him the flat while we went off to Burger Brigstock.
Raffles.
It's all right, Bunny. We came away empty-handed. I only hope that Teddy's been more successful in doing what he set out to do.
Teddy, you at home?
Hello, Teddy. How are you? What have you been doing today? Oh, I don't think you know. Great friend of mine. Bunny Manders. This is Teddy Garland.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I saw you take 7 wickets for the gentlemen against the players last year at Lord's. Marvellous.
Thank you.
I say, Raffles, have you got a checkbook and a bank account like a sober citizen? How long has this been, Oh.
Well, why don't you hand me over to the police and have done with it?
What?
Must you torture me?
Who's torturing you?
Did you mean to do this when you borrowed my flat?
No. I swear I didn't.
You don't have to swear. Your word's good enough for me.
Do you remember offering me a cheque last month and I refused?
Yes, of course I do.
Well, I've never regretted anything so much in my life. And I was sitting at your desk writing a letter, and I saw your checkbook and I thought what a fool I'd be.
And I wasn't here to write it for you, so you wrote it yourself. Quite right, too.
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing, Teddy. It was the act of a real friend to draw on me in my absence rather than let me feel I'd ruined you by not being here when you needed me. I was never paid a bigger compliment.
Do you mean it?
Yes. Of course I do. What are friends for? Now then, what's the trouble?
A man by the name of Brigstock.
Not by any chance a moneylender by the name of Brigstock?
Do you know him?
I think I might say I know him.
He was the man one went to when I was up at Cambridge.
He is the man who's ruined half the rich young heirs in the country.
Oh, that's the trouble. I'm not rich. If I was, I'd have paid him off long ago.
You're not rich, but sure, your father.
He spent all his money keeping the newspaper going.
Ah,
And I respect him for it. I couldn't go to him and say I owed money to Brigstock.
no, you couldn't.
It wasn't much, really, it wasn't. I borrowed 300 and signed a promissory note for 456. It looked dead reasonable. The whole lot was repayable in monthly installments of 20 quid, which I kept up religiously until the 6th payment fell due, and that was just after Christmas, when one is always hard up. And for the first time, I was a day or two late paying the 20. And what do you think happened? My cheque was returned and the whole blessed balance demanded on the nail.
What did you do?
Told them to accept my installment or go to blazes for the rest.
What did he do?
Absolutely dropped the whole thing until this week, and then came down on me for what do you suppose?
700 or so?
Oh, nonsense.
So Raffles knows all about these things. It was 700, and half of that is for default interest from January down to date.
Had you agreed to that?
Well, there it was, plain as a pikestaff on my promissory note. A halfpenny in the shilling per week over and above everything else if the original interest wasn't forthcoming.
Printed or in writing?
Printed small, I needn't tell you. But I could have read it when I signed. In fact, I believe I did read it. But a halfpenny a week?
Give me his letter and the receipts for the installments you have paid.
They're all here. Why, what are you going to do?
I'm going to pay a call on Mr. Brigstock.
I'm coming with you.
You'll do nothing of the sort. If you must do something, you can go to Lord's and practice in bowling. You can certainly clear out of here. I lent you this flat to think in, and now it's me that needs to think things out. Oh, that's ungrammatical. But who cares? Not me for one. Go on, off you go. Go! Brigstock threatens bankruptcy and disgrace unless he pays up immediately, and damn it, Brigstock's got the law on his side.
You don't care for the law.
I care for what the law is. Oh, there's nothing to be done but pay up or be bankrupted. And we can't have a potential England fast bowler bankrupted.
Well?
You know what I was going to do the other night, Bunny? Brigstock keeps 2 things in his safe. No, it's no secret. He keeps money, of course, but he also keeps, thank you, promissory notes from his clients. Well, I was going to make a bonfire of all his promissory notes and dance around them till there was nothing left but ashes.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't. It would have taken a long time.
Yes, but it would have saved Teddy. I don't know how to now. I've got a checkbook, but I haven't got 700 or anything like it.
Neither have I, I'm afraid. It's been an expensive year.
Yeah, expensive trips. I wonder who that can be. Expensive clothes,
Expensive meals.
expensive drinks, expensive cigarettes, expensive clubs,
What other vices?
expensive bouquets for expensive women. Oh, I most humbly beg your pardon. I wasn't expecting anyone, least of all a lady.
I'm Camilla Belsize.
How do you do? Oh, I'm Arthur Raffles. Won't you please come in?
Thank you.
And the youngish person, gawping at you rather embarrassingly along there is Bunny Manders.
How do you do, Mr.
Lady Camilla
Manders?
Belsize.
You know me then?
Oh, I know of you, of course. Who does not?
Many, I should think.
The most photographed person in the whole of England.
Oh, that.
And the architect of the National... Ah! Oh, forgive me. I've forgotten its exact title. I know it's the National something.
The National Union of Women's Suffrage Societies.
Thank you. Won't you please come in?
Thank you.
Do sit down. Maybe give you some tea.
No, I simply want to talk to you.
Oh, well. Please, talk to me.
You may or may not know that I'm engaged to be married to Teddy Garland.
I didn't.
Secretly engaged.
Well, I'm delighted. My congratulations.
Perhaps I should say I was engaged to Teddy. I received a letter from him this morning asking for him to be released. I hoped you might be able to tell me the reasons.
I?
The letter was written from here.
Ah.
And I know that Teddy looks upon you as his, well, how shall I put it? As his guide, philosopher, and friend.
Did he give no hint in his letter?
He simply said I should find out soon enough and should be glad to be free of him.
I see.
I detest this sort of mystery. And I particularly detest people who treat women as if they were shrinking violets, who mustn't be exposed to the cold blast of truth. Mr. Raffles, I am not a shrinking violet. Tell me the truth.
The truth is, Lady Camilla, that I cannot think of any reason why Teddy or anyone should wish to be released from an engagement to you.
In that case, I shall have to find out from Teddy himself. Good day to you, Mr. Raffles.
Good day.
Mr. Manders.
Lady Camilla.
What do you want to say to me?
Just leave it till tomorrow. Everything may be changed by tomorrow. Teddy may ask you to forget his letter. It may be as though it had never been written. Please.
Very well. I will leave it till tomorrow.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Raffles.
Goodbye. Bunny!
Yes?
What does a young man about town do when he needs cash in a great hurry?
Goes to see Brigstock, I suppose.
Come along, then.
Oh, heavens.
Oh, may I? Thank you so much. Come no nearer with me, or I may suspect something. Hang about out here until I come out of the room again.
Righto.
Good afternoon. It's Mr. Raffles, isn't it? Pleasure to see you here.
I wish I could say it was a pleasure to be here.
Oh, business bad, Mr. Raffles, is it?
When business is bad, your business is good, I suppose.
Something like that, yeah.
And you sit here in this broken-down little hotel, coining money hand over fist.
If you don't want to borrow money from me, nobody's forcing you.
I'm sorry to say I do. I must.
How much?
700.
It's a lot of money, Mr.
And
Raffles.
I must have it now.
What security?
None.
I shall have to charge you a little bit over the odds for lending you 700 on no security.
Good afternoon.
Hornung,
Are you waiting to see Mr. Brigstock?
you might say.
Get it.
It's all here. Don't let him see the envelope. And remember, I'm just an acquaintance.
Who is it?
Raffles again!
What do you want now?
I met a young friend of mine. Thought I might give him an introduction. Same trouble as I had. Mr. Brigstock, the moneylender. This is Mr. Manders.
How do?
How do you do?
Happy to meet you.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I come from my friend, Mr. Edward Garland.
I thought you came here to borrow money.
No, I never said so.
Who is this little biter?
I thought he was hard up. I was simply
I
trying...
didn't ask for your introduction.
Oh, just
Raffles.
a
I
moment.
thought
If
you
I had
did.
Hey, gentlemen, gentlemen. What did Mr. Garland send you about?
As I understand it, Mr. Garland borrowed 300 from you a year or so ago. He's paid you back 100 already, and now you're sticking him for 7.
I am.
Isn't that a bit much?
Why? Money's like everything else. If you haven't got it, and you can't beg it or earn it, you have to buy it at a price. I sell money, that's all. A man may be a fool to pay my price. Depends on how much he wants the money at the time. He knows what it's doing. It's all written down in the bond. You may call it robbery, but all business is robbery if it comes to that.
And in that case, I have here Mr. Garland's receipts for what he's paid you so far, and here is the £700 he still owes you in full and final quittance of the debt. 100.
Don't you want the money, Mr. Brigstock?
I don't.
You can't refuse it.
I can't.
£700. May I ask you to return me Mr. Garland's promissory note?
There you are, bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, here you are, about time, too. Take this little biter and throw him in the street.
Which one do you mean?
That one. Not Mr. Raffles, he's a friend of mine.
He's a friend of his too. You give him an envelope in the corridor.
What? You pay for this, a pair of you. You're a cursed swindler and you're his damn decoy. It's criminal fraud and you know it.
It's nothing of the sort, and you know it. Come along, Bunny. You lent the money to me. I lent it to him. And I didn't charge him interest.
Oh!
Good day to you, Mr. Brigstock. Do you read fact, Bunny?
Well, actually, I do tend to prefer fiction.
No, you don't. Fact. The weekly newspaper run by old man Garland. This.
Oh, no, I don't usually. It's always exposing things I don't think ought to be exposed.
For some time now, it's been exposing our friend Brigstock.
Oh, has it?
And as a direct result, he's bringing a libel action against the newspaper.
You don't say.
The costs are going to run into thousands, which I suppose Brigstock can afford. I don't imagine old Garland can.
So?
Well, if Brigstock wins, it'll finish the newspaper and ruin old Garland.
That's tough on Teddy.
Though if Fact were to apologize and print a retraction saying that Brigstock were a spotless saint, he might withdraw the case.
You know as well as I do he's not a spotless saint.
Well, no, you ass. I'm simply trying to explain why Brigstock was so furious with us for getting Teddy Garland out of his clutches.
Why?
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Must I put it into words of one?
There's no need to be rude. I understand perfectly well. I just don't see any point in getting yourself into Brigstock's clutches instead of Teddy.
My father is not the publisher of Fact.
Well, your father couldn't be. He's dead.
Yes. Shall we start again from the beginning? Teddy Garland's father publishes a weekly newspaper. Saved by the Bell.
Who can that be?
Oh, I shall see. Well, hello, Mr. Brigstock.
Hello, Raffles. Can I come in?
Yes, of course. Glad to see you. You're very Resplendent?
Well, you know, I always put on a bit of the highfalutin when I come up west.
Yes, you certainly do. Come in.
Thank you, thank you.
I think you've met Mr. Manders. In fact, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do sit down. Have a glass of Scotch whiskey.
I'll sit down, but I don't drink with the swell mob.
What?
I said I don't drink with swell mobsmen.
My dear Brigstock, no one could possibly be more welcome to my humble quarters, but that is the second time I've heard you make use of an obsolete expression. You know as well as I do that the slap-bang here we are again type of work is a thing of the past. Where are the jolly dogs of the old song now, eh?
Here at the Albany. Here in your rooms, Mr. A.J. Raffles.
What do you possibly mean?
You know what I mean, you cracksmen, magsmen, mobsmen, the pair of you seem to both own up.
Cracksman, magsman, mobsman, have you any idea what it... Oh, yes, of course. Yes, I have it. Thieves. Common thieves.
I found out about you, Mr. Raffles. I've been talking to friends of yours.
Friends?
Oh, it's quite possible, Bunny. I have a number of friends who would sell anyone for money.
You have that?
With, for money, an entire disregard of the truth.
I got the idea from them that it was you at my safe the other night.
I? At your safe? You mean the night your alarm went off and you fired your revolver?
That's the night.
You think it was me? Bunny, what fun, eh?
Yes, fun.
How would you care for another bit of fun like that?
Don't say another. It implies it was me the first time.
Would you like to try your hand at the game again?
Not again, Mr. Brigstock, and my prentice hand, if you don't mind.
Beg pardon my mistake.
How would I like to try my prentice hand at stealing something for the pure fun of the thing? Is that the question, Mr. Brigstock?
Not exactly stealing, more recovering a man's own property.
You being the man, Mr. Brigstock?
I being the man, Mr. Ruff.
May I ask what is the property?
It's a light enough swag to handle. It's a letter,
One little letter.
that's all.
Of your own writing.
No,
I see. It was written to you, not by you.
wrong again.
Then how can the letter be your property, my dear sir?
They think it was written by me to one of my clients. It's a forgery written on my office paper, and if that isn't my property, I should like to know what is.
Well, it certainly ought to be. Oh, of course. You're referring to the crucial letter in your libel suit against fact.
It's a forgery.
If they can prove it's genuine, you haven't a hope of winning the case. You're obviously a criminal.
It isn't genuine.
It wouldn't be the first time a plaintiff in the High Court has been transformed into the defendant at the Old Bailey.
It isn't genuine, I'm telling you. But it's what I want.
Well, why do you want it if it isn't genuine? All you have to do is prove it a forgery and you've won your case. Easy.
I'd feel safer with it in my hand.
Instead of in... Where is it now?
In their solicitor's safe, I suppose.
And the solicitors to fact are...
Burroughs and Burroughs.
Ah, the best firm in England.
Their safe is no safer than mine. You got that open.
Well, you will have your little joke, won't you? What do you say, Bunny? Shall we do it?
No.
Why not?
Well, you make certain that old Garland lost the case, and this blighter wins it.
Well, Mr. Brigstock merely wishes to have the letter stolen. Oh, I'm so sorry. Withdrawn.
That's right.
Withdrawn and nothing more?
That'd be good enough for me.
Oh, it wouldn't be good enough for me. I should want to go one better.
How?
I should want to forge the forgery. Replace the letter with another one, not half so well done, so that people could see it was a forgery straight away.
I always knew you were a man after my own heart. I never knew you were a genius till now. Shake!
Before we shake...
Raffles, you can't do it.
Before we shake, what price are you prepared to pay for my genius?
I'll let you off the debt you took over from young Garland.
Oh, and pay me £2,000 on top of that.
What?
It's a lot less than the cost if you lose the case. And I'll have it in writing. Now, I only believe in promises when they're in writing. And hurry up about it, or Bunny and I will be late for the Duchess of Darlington.
Mr. Raffles, how nice of you to come.
Your Grace.
Oh, Mr. Manderson, how are you? My dear, have you seen Lady Stoke? I can't.
Same boring conversations, same boring faces. Ah, but the same lovely bubbly.
Why the devil did you agree to do that swine's dirty work?
I'm broke. We're broke.
But such a filthy job.
I can't wait to get my hands on that letter.
Are you serious?
So we're going to do it tonight.
What?
To get the money as soon as possible.
Then what on earth are we playing at here?
You heard the Duchess. It was nice of me to come.
Yes, but...
And I thought a little taste of society before we plunge into crime.
Oh, well...
And I expect she's invited. Oh, yes. There she is, excuse me. Good evening, Lady Camilla. Forgive me. I'm enchanted to see you.
Mr. Raffles. Enchanted is rather French. It doesn't suit an England cricketer.
Oh, and I chose it so carefully.
Please rescue me from this dreadful old bore.
Yes, of course.
I should tell you, what you predicted has come true.
With Teddy?
It is as if it had never happened.
I'm very glad.
I made it a condition that I had to be told the truth.
You are a very clear-cut young woman, not to say forthright.
And you were the best friend a man could have. Thank you, Mr. Raffles.
The least I could do.
In fact, I think I shall kiss you. There.
I am more than rewarded.
It's a promise rather than a reward. I would do anything for you.
Do one thing.
What?
Make Teddy a good, fast bowler and a good husband.
I'll try. Why a good fast bowler?
They simply must beat the Australians.
And after that, may I make him a member of Parliament in favor of women's rights?
After that, you may do with him as you please, as you could do with...
With?
Strauli. I entirely forgot what I was going to say.
Did you?
It would have been very wrong of me to remember.
Mr. Raffles, are you flirting with me? I'm not cross, I'm only asking.
My dear Lady Camilla, I would not dare to say anything to you that I did not mean.
Oh. Oh. Good evening, Lady Camilla.
Good evening.
I say, Raffles, they're going to have some woman singing.
Oh. Then perhaps we'd better be off.
Where are you going?
Here and there?
Where?
I think we have a pretty adventurous night ahead of us, wouldn't you say that?
Oh, yes, I'd say so.
And adventures are strictly a male preserve?
Oh, yes, you couldn't possibly come along with us. It might be dangerous.
In that case, good night.
What's the matter with her?
Hmm? Oh. I think nothing is the matter with her.
What?
I think she's quite perfect. And here it is, in the chief clerk's office, of course. Burrows and Burrows.
And Burrows.
No, not Burrows. Drink sherry with the clients, and the chief clerk does all the work. Right. Let's have a look at it. Not easy. It would take me a good half hour, I should think.
Raffles, may I plead with you?
The money, Bunny, the lovely money.
Not to do this thing for Teddy's sake, for old Garland's sake, for decency's sake,
Anybody else's?
for the sake
of my belief in you.
I've just thought of someone else.
Who?
Which is why I said it would take me a good half hour.
You mean you're not going to steal the letter?
Of course I'm not, you silly ass.
Then what are we doing here?
Waiting.
For?
To see what happens.
I don't understand.
What would you do if you were Brigstock? Well, I'd let Raffles open the safe, because that's what he's good at, and steal the letter. And once he'd opened the safe and stolen the letter, I'd send a couple of heavies to knock Raffles down and take the letter from him.
Do you think that's what he'll do?
That's what I would do if I were him, and you can't get much crookeder than that.
But you didn't tell Brigstock you were coming here tonight.
Yes, I did. I telephoned earlier.
Oh. And the time, because there's no point in having you knocked down before you've broken into the safe.
I told Brigstock I guaranteed to have the letter in my hands by midnight.
Midnight? That's now.
Then we shan't have long to wait.
Do you think they'll come here?
I would, if I were them, and I would leave us unconscious by the safe, obviously, in the process of attempting a burglary for the police to find.
Well, the only way they can get in is that door.
Yes. Well, then keep an eye on the door, Bunny. That's a good chap.
What are we going to do with them?
Exactly what they would have done with us. Poetic justice, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
So much juster than the ordinary kind. Well, go on then. Over by the door.
Oh.
It's all right, Bunny. I've got him.
Thanks.
Oh, no, it's for me to thank you.
What on earth have you got to thank me for?
Pushing the jemmy into my hand. I'd have been done for otherwise.
I didn't push any jemmy in it. Oh.
Well, who did?
Do you think he'll be awake?
I should think he's sitting up waiting for us.
Really?
Or rather for those two apes.
Who is it?
It's us. Yeah.
Don't shut us out, Mr. Brigstock. We're simply longing to talk to you.
Have you got it? The letter?
Nope.
Then there's nothing to talk about.
And your tame apes haven't got it either.
Who?
They're lying by the safe at Burrows and Burrows, or in jail now, I should think. We sent a message to Scotland Yard telling the police to look lively.
Blast you.
They're certainly guilty of breaking and entering. The only question is whether they'll confess who sent them.
They've got more
It
sense.
could make your case against fact look a very poor one, apart from anything else.
You still owe me 700 quid, and don't you forget it.
What we are concerned with at the moment is not my debt to you, but your debt to society. Not your case against fact, but England's case against you.
You're bluffing. There's no case against me.
Bunny, go to his bed and feel under his pillow, would you? I fancy he keeps a firearm there.
I'll get it.
Just in case you feel at a loss for an argument.
What do you want me to do with it? Shoot him?
No. Verdict first, sentence afterwards.
What do you mean? Verdict for what?
For extortion and sharp practice. For cheating and betraying friends and enemies alike. Habitual swindling and barefaced blackmail and breaking all the rules of civilized crime. You've brought crime into disrepute. You've made it something which is regarded with loathing and distaste by decent people. You've taken the sporting element out of crime.
Go to hell.
Bunny, put the prisoner in the dock.
Come on. Over there.
You were not asked to plead guilty or not guilty because this court would not attach the slightest value to your plea nor to any statement you might care to make, sworn or unsworn.
What good are you doing with all this foolery? Say what you've got to say and be damned to you.
Very well. You are a moneylender, trading under the name of Dan Brigstock.
That happens to be my name.
You are the biggest man alive at your job and certainly the biggest villain.
Next to you.
Let me remind you of some of your recent and proven villainies. The Lincolnshire vicar you hounded into an asylum the year before last. The 7 poor devils you drove to suicide between 1890 and 1894. The sort that pay with their uttermost farthing before they make the final payment with their lives.
I didn't tell them to.
The little builder in Bromley who cut the throats of his 3 babies.
All right!
It's an ugly load for one man's soul to carry.
It's a pack of blithering lies! Stick to the facts within your own knowledge, and then you tell me whether your precious Garlands haven't brought their troubles on themselves.
Certainly they have, but it isn't your treatment of the Garlands that has landed you in the dock.
What is it, then?
It is your treatment of me, Mr. Brigstock.
A cursed crook like you!
A man with whom you made an agreement.
I only did it to see you kept your end of the bargain.
Oh, yes. It's for others to keep their end, but not you yours.
I stay within the law.
Yeah. You suck blood. And you squeeze throats as hard as the law will let you. That is why I have taken the law into my own hands.
What do you mean?
I mean that I am Mr. Justice Raffles. And I find you guilty of all the charges brought against you, and I shall consider what sentence shall be passed on you. Though I must say, in the opinion of this court, you are not fit to live.
Raffles?
Do you wish to speak on the prisoner's behalf?
Well, no, but...
Prisoner, is there any reason why sentence should not now be passed on you?
Oh, go on, get on with it. What can you sentence me to?
Death.
Death! You wouldn't kill me in cold blood.
You deserve death, if any man ever did. But this court does not wish for the death of any man. It therefore sentences you to loss of all your belongings.
Oh, really?
I said all of your belongings, Brigstock, so that you never again practice the infamous trade of moneylender. Starting with my own promissory note. Where is it in your safe?
No. Yes.
Get it. put the gun down, Bunny. Or I'm a dead man.
What?
Do as I say.
You should have guessed I'd have another gun to deal with rats like you. You come and stand next to him. Right. Over by the safe. You as well, or I'll blow him to pieces. Now, who's top dog now, eh? Who is?
I suppose you are.
This time it's me who does the sentencing.
The idea being that you shoot us by an open safe containing a lot of money and promissory notes, mine own included.
I told you before, you're a genius. That's exactly right. And there's no court in the world will convict me acting in defense of my own property.
Clever, I agree.
Dead clever. Say your prayers, Raffles.
May I have a cigarette first? Anyway, just a couple of puffs?
What for?
Oh, come now, I believe even murderers are allowed a cigarette before they're hanged. Will you have one, Bunny? The Sullivans, of course.
Thanks.
Hurry up with it.
Who was it who said, the prospect of death concentrates a man's mind wonderfully? Hmm? And a Sullivan's cigarette at the moment of death is, it's wonderfully soothing.
Bunny! What are you doing? You stop that! Oh!
Unconscious. Thank you, Lady Camilla, most opportune.
Mr. Raffles, would you find it reassuring if I were to faint now?
I would find it unbelievable.
Thank you. Do be careful. It's loaded.
Yes, I will. Bunny, take Lady Camilla home and don't let anyone see you. Right, fast as you can.
What are you going to do?
Oh, some clearing up of odds and ends. Go on, look sharp about it.
Right. Hey, wait for me!
Come on. You've got to be conscious or it's no good. Come on, Brixton. Come on, put yourself together. Come on. Come on, Brixton. I'm awfully sorry I haven't got time to make a fresh pot. There. How about that? Yes, come on. That's the lad. Come on, Brixton. Yes, you're going to be fine. And as I told the police last night,
I'm sorry, sir. Just by way of confirmation.
we had no idea that he was on fire himself.
I imagine not, sir.
And when we managed to get into the room, we found him burned to a cinder.
Horrible.
There was nothing we could do for him. God rest his soul, if he had one.
You say you were the last to see him, sir?
Yes.
Well, would you say he was in repenting mood?
No.
Well, what sort of mood was he in?
I went to see him to pay him back some money on behalf of a friend. But Mr. Brigstock didn't want to be paid back. He wanted to go on having my friend as his debtor in his power, so he was in a very bad mood.
To pay back some money on behalf of a friend?
Yes.
In the middle of the night, sir?
You've obviously never been in debt to a moneylender like Brigstock. You want to clear it off as soon as possible, otherwise he'll charge you extra interest for every moment you're in default.
So he didn't like you paying it back?
No, he did not.
But why should he lock the door after you'd gone?
Well, perhaps he wanted to stop me coming back. I was in a bad mood, too.
I see.
Or perhaps he always locked the door before he opened his safe. He kept a great deal of money in there, as well as promissory notes.
That is more likely, sir.
I suppose it is.
Did you have anyone with you, sir?
It was a matter of some delicacy. My friend didn't want to be seen anywhere near Brigstock.
So you were alone?
Completely alone.
And what exactly did you do after you had left Brigstock's room?
Well, I was very angry, you understand. I stamped off along the corridor and down the stairs. It struck me like a fool I hadn't collected my friend's promissory note.
Oh, did that matter, sir? You had paid back the money?
I didn't trust Brigstock any further than I could throw a 10-ton weight.
So you went back?
Yes. And saw smoke coming from underneath his door, so I raised the alarm.
I see, sir. Well, I don't doubt that it will be accidental death.
I'd call that a very proper verdict.
Though there is an element of mystery about it.
Well, don't you like an element of mystery? I do.
You may be hearing from me again, sir. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Madam.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Well, that's that.
Not necessarily. You may be hearing from him again.
Oh, I don't know. A locked door and a sealed room. It's the first time I've ever done the trick of turning a key from the outside. It's a terrible strain on the wrist there. It's worse than bowling leg breaks, 6 balls and over.
Well, shall I make some coffee?
Yes, yes. He has finally gone.
Raffles, I haven't thanked you properly yet.
No, not at all.
And I really don't know how to.
No. It's for me to thank Camilla.
Oh, why?
Oh, I was only joking.
I'll fetch your coat.
Camilla, could I have a word with you for a moment?
Of course.
You haven't told him yet.
I've told him nothing he doesn't need to know.
My most humble and grateful thanks for saving my life. Twice in one night.
I simply followed you from the Duchess's party.
Why, to demonstrate that women are as good at adventures as men are.
Yes.
They're better. No man could hope to equal you.
Oh, I allow men as equals.
What a colleague you'd make. What a partner.
At cricket?
No. But it doesn't matter. You have one already. I can only hope.
For what?
Hope once again to be in danger of death that you may save me.
I should like that, too.
Camilla!
Teddy's calling me.
Camilla, we really must be going.
Just coming. Goodbye.
Oh, I've just made some coffee. Wonderful girl, that. Only woman I've ever met who's a match for you. In pluck, in temperament. Well, you've done an altruistic action for once, with nothing in it for you. Wrong again.
No. You're quite right. There's nothing in it for me.